All right, guys, you guys have been asking for a while that we cover a little more theme park, or, real life theme park news on the channel. So maybe we can kind of dive into that a little bit. And we've got some interesting news out lately. And I actually first saw it on Inside the Magic. They posted it earlier. And the question is, will the Magic Kingdom come to the kingdom? And all of this pretty much started the swirling and the little bit of talking. Started when the Saudi prince actually was on one of his U.S. tours and actually sat down with Bob Iger, and Bob kind of lets us in on a little bit of the, he's reluctant to talk about too many details, because he even says in the Council on Foreign Relations video, which I'll link down below, where he actually gets questioned about this. Probably around the 13-minute mark, they question him about a Disneyland coming to Saudi Arabia, and he says the Crown Prince is very eager. He kind of even made it sound like money wouldn't be an issue, the money would be in place, and then Bob kind of goes on to say that there's a lot more that goes into the decision to build a Disney park than just kind of securing the funds and the land for it. And obviously, a decision like that is such a there's just, like he said, there's so many levels to a decision like that: cultural, economic, how the regions, the country's government works. And I think it's kind of like all things Disney, it's a wait and see type of deal with this. I think that Bob was very clear in the Council on Foreign Relations video that he is not interested in making headlines, and by no way take his comments of granting to come and visit the prince in Saudi Arabia as anything that even remotely sounds like a development of a new park could be happening. Like he said, there's a lot of things that have to happen before before even something like that can even be considered. And the biggest thing that's kind of surrounding this is the Saudi Arabia 2030 vision, where Saudi Arabia is actually trying to move away from their dependence on oil sales, and they're really trying to ramp up their entertainment, and really trying to ramp down some of the the extreme the extremely conservative ideology in their country. And that's the road they're wanting to take. And it seems like we have to look at this in full context, though. I mean, you would think for something like Disney to sign an agreement and sign on to build a park in your country. I mean, technically, as the filming of this video, women can't drive there legally for another 25 days. Starting in June, last year, Saudi Arabia, passed. Technically, it was never against the law for women to drive in Saudi Arabia, but with the officials at the driver's license locations on the local level, it made it pretty much impossible. So it was kind of a de facto law that women couldn't drive, but starting in June they can. So, the country is showing it seems like to me, the country's showing a lot of good faith, towards these basic human rights type issues. But are they close enough for a company like Disney, a really kind of non-rock the boat, culturally sensitive to all types of people around the world and societies? I just don't think that is a fit right now, or something that the Disney company would want to dip their hands into right now. And big emphasis on right now, like Six Flags has already signed an agreement with with like Saudi Arabia's public investment group to develop and design an amusement park in Riyadh. So, I mean, some of the groundwork is there with this prince coming in, and, more than likely probably by 2022 will be king. And coincidentally, that's when the Six Flags Park is slated to open, is 2022. It's just, it all ties in with that Saudi Arabia's Vision 2030. Their vision to promote culture and entertainment and attract local and international investors to that whole sector, and 30 million people and all of the billions and billions of dollars that's being invested. But is it something that Disney needs to jump into right now? I mean, there's a whole slew of questions and, different factors that weigh in. And, yes, China, Shanghai had their wealth of questions and possibilities and situations. And they were able to make it happen in that market. But I think when you're talking about Saudi Arabia, you're talking about to the 10th degree of cultural situations and stuff that's just not quite ready to happen there yet, even though it may be on its way. I think Disney would probably gear to the side of sitting back for another decade or so and kind of letting this 2030 vision kind of just kind of play out and see, I think another thing that Disney would probably do is see how the Six Flags progresses, see how that development and design goes, see the numbers on it, and, just that type of stuff goes into it. But, like I said, Bob Iger in that interview on the council made it very clear that there was no intentions of building a park in Saudi Arabia. He, matter of fact, even said that was pretty low on their priority list to open a park up into that market. But with the caveat of never saying never, he did say that he would entertain a trip to the kingdom. And just who knows what could come out of it. But that is kind of the swirling that's going around with the latest Saudi prince's trip to the U.S. And, like I said, it's something to look forward to. Maybe the rumors will, I definitely think there'll be some eyes on the visit when and if Bob Iger ever makes the trip to the kingdom. And, we're just going to have to see how it goes. But definitely I think it's when Inside the Magic picks it up and actually runs a little front page story on it, it's probably something you'd want to at least pay attention to or keep on your radar. And like I said, just kind of, maybe not just totally write it off. I mean, I think Saudi Arabia with this vision and with this push and this kind of relaxation of the rules and just kind of all the stuff they're doing, kind of opening up their visa packages for more, letting more tourists in. Saudi Arabia's they're acting on their entertainment sector. They just had WWE there to perform in front of like 60,000 people. Like I said, that I think that the prince has an important role to play in the development of the Kingdom of Saudi Arabia's economy, and if he wants to see this realization and this ambition, of their 2030 goals come to fruition, and get companies like Walt Disney to put that region on their radar. So, it's I think it's something that it seems like the Saudi people want. Nearly, I was doing a little bit of research before the video. Nearly 2/3 of their population are under the age of 35 with fledgling families, and I mean, obviously, I think if it was Disney, they would absolutely knock it out of the park. As far as just the Saudis' huge appetite goes for entertainment and amusement parks, amusement in the kingdom. So I don't know. We'll just kind of have to see. It's another reason to just kind of just keep Disney on your radar and just, keep checking up on it. So anyways, guys, that's just my opinion. I'd love to hear what you think in the comment section down below. If you think that this is something that could happen, could we get a Magic Kingdom in the actual kingdom? And if you want to hear more of Bob Iger's thoughts, like I said, I'll link that video in the description box below, and you can kind of hear him out more on their talks and the overall. He actually even later in the video talks about some of the issues they faced with Shanghai Disneyland, and how that type of stuff, how it kind of weaves its way in and out over the years, and very, very, very interesting stuff. So, like I said, smash that like button if you end up enjoying this video. Subscribe for more theme park content and theme park goings on. And yeah, guys, thanks for hanging out with me, and I will catch you in the next video. Thank you. See ya.
To pursue, that dream will lead us on a journey to discover who we're meant to be. All we have to do is look at, and when we're brave enough to listen and bold enough to pursue, that dream will lead us on a journey to discover who we're meant to be. All we have to do is look inside our hearts and unlock the magic within. Ready to begin.
Thank you.
Let the wonder take hold. It's for you.